Please be seated.
Sound, order arms, and parade red.
The Commander of Troops and Reviewing Party will now inspect the command by troop in the line. In days past, troop in the line enabled commanders to personally observe and evaluate both their soldiers and equipment, as well as to judge for himself their capability to engage in battle. This also allowed the soldiers to physically identify their leader prior to entering into battle. Home to the United States Army Fire Center of Excellence, Fort Sill, is a world-class organization dedicated to producing combat-ready fire units, soldiers, and Marines that are trained and equipped to provide fires and coordinate effects for the joint force across a full spectrum of military operations. Fort Sill is designated as a National Historic Landmark and serves as home of the United States Army Field Artillery School, the United States Army Air Defense Artillery School, and is a Marine Corps training site for field artillery military occupational specialties. Fort Sill is also one of 4 locations for Army basic combat training conducted by the 4th Corps Field Artillery Brigade. Other tenant organizations include the 31st Air Defense Artillery Brigade, the 75th Field Artillery Brigade, Medical Activity, Fort Sill, Dental Activity, Fort Sill, and the United States Army Garrison, Fort Sill. Fort Sill was founded in 1869 by Major General Philip Sheridan and remains the only active Army installation of all the forts on the Southern Plains, built during the Indian Wars. Many of those same buildings, built by the Buffalo Soldiers during the Indian War era, still stand today. During the first 30 years, the post was primarily a frontier cavalry garrison. In 1902, the 1st Field Artillery Unit was assigned to Fort Sill, and the post began its transformation to a field artillery firing center, culminating in 1911 with the establishment of the School of Fire. From that beginning, Fort Sill has seen the artillery develop from horse-drawn artillery pieces to the most modern field artillery and air defense artillery weapon system of today. Fort Sill has played a significant role in every major American conflict since 1869. In addition to the Field Artillery School, the Army's Infantry School and Aviation School trace their origins to Fort Sill. During World War I, Fort Sill trained and provided artillerymen on the battlefields of Europe, and during World War II, artillerymen developed decisive fires in support of maneuver units. In both the European and Pacific theaters, in the 1950s and 1960s, the Army had one artillery branch in Red Lake refined their craft on the battlefields of Korea and Vietnam, while air defenders protected American skies from enemy threats. Throughout the latter half of the 20th century, artillerymen stood vigilant guards on the frontiers of the Cold War. Since the early 1990s, the artillery has played a devastating role in the Southwest Asia conflict, and most recently Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom. Fort Sill's core mission remains training fire soldiers, Marines, and leaders. Fort Sill continues to improve rigor and realism in initial entry training in order to better prepare our soldiers for combat. Our field artillery and air defense artillery schools provide officers, NCOs, and warrant officers with world-class training and instruction of both field artillery and air defense artillery students. As always, Fort Sill is ready and willing to help accomplish any mission. We will meet the challenges tomorrow head-on by continuing to provide for the defense of the United States of America. Fire strong, people first, Winning matters.
Sound, attention! Sound, commander and color center, march! Detachment! Forward! One! Hookton, march! Detachment, halt! Sir, command and colors are present. Present the command. Sound, present arms!
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of our national anthem performed by 434's own Corporal Karina Bolaños.
Detachment, present arms!
See by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that
The very soul of a military unit is symbolized by the colors under which it trains and fights. From the earliest times, warriors used a banner or other symbol to identify units and to serve as a rallying point for troops. After a battle, the unit whose colors remained flying was the victor. Today, the colors join our unit formation to signify their presence in the unit's history. They remind us of the glories of the past, stand guard over the present, and provide inspiration for the future. By authority of Army Regulation 600-20, the undersigned assumes command of the United States Army Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill, signed Patrick M. Costello, Brigadier General, United States Army, Commanding. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General, United States Army Combined Arms Center in Fort Leavenworth, Lieutenant General Milford Beagle, Jr.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning. And typically I have audiences do that again when the response is lukewarm because I absolutely want to know how you're doing. The last time I did this change of command, it was very, very hot. It's not hot today, it is humid. And it is a great morning because all of you are here, so we'll start again. Good morning. Good morning. Awesome, much better. It is great to see all of you in attendance and those who are out joining us virtually. My remarks will be brief this morning, as today is all about two leaders, two families, and an incredible organization, the Fire Centers of Excellence and Fort Sill and Team Law. A French philosopher once said, "Attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity." So all of you today, thank you for your attention. Soldiers and Marines on the field, I'm going to give you the command, rest. That means you can shake it out, you can do whatever till my remarks are complete. Rest. Color guard, that applies to you as well. So Sergeant Major Sertan, much to your chagrin, you can unseat color. All right, yeah, so move around, shake it out, do whatever you need to do. All good. You might not get that command again today. It is a great day to be a soldier and a great day to be a leader here at Fort Sill, but it's even a better day for a change of command, where we honor the service of one leader and welcome another to continue mission. Now, I understand and know that protocol has already been established, but I'd be remiss if I did not once again acknowledge the key people who are here, which includes all of you, from my great friend Mayor Stan Booker. As you can all see, I keep my pen in my backpack. I will never be caught without it. Councilwoman Mary Ann Hankins Booker, the CASA Mike Brown, Chief James Smith, and to two outstanding spouses, Lori and Rachel, and to Sergeant Major Sartain. The troops absolutely look great today, Sergeant Major, and to my fellow general officers, to commanders, command sergeant majors, family members who are all here, spouses, to our teammates from the community who are here, and most importantly, teammates of Fort Sill. So before I begin, I'd like to ask all of you to join me in a round of applause for the 395th Army Reserve Band. We can never underestimate what a band brings to the fight. It's not just pomp and circumstances, but they are a force multiplier. And I'd be remiss if I did not mention the 77th Band. And I know what occurred with the 77th and their deactivation, but I've been around Fort Sill long enough, experienced, heard that band in person, so I'd like to thank them for their contributions that they made to this team, to this community, and to this organization. Now, the smartest thing that I can do as a reviewing officer for this ceremony is to use the 3 T's of public speaking. You tell a good story, you take a bow, and you take a seat. That's exactly what I plan to do this morning. I will also remind all of you that when I'm invited to a change of command. I'm told one thing, sir, you can speak as long as you want to speak, but as soon as I show up, they say, sir, you have 8 minutes to speak as long as you want to speak. So my clock starts right now because I do get to keep time. And up front, I want to thank Lori and Rachel for your commitment, for your sacrifices that both of you have made. So to the leaders that we recognize today have been afforded the opportunity and privilege to lead because of you and because of your support. And to Lori specifically, thank you for all that you've shared with Fort Sill and the Fire Center over the last 2 years. The value that Lori brought to Fort Sill and the FCO team is not much different than the value that she brought to Phil the day they met 31 years ago. When Phil had a saw that wouldn't work, a tree that wouldn't fall, Lori stepped in. And that's what she does. She always steps in, and it's been that same story ever since. She steps in with poise, she steps in with grace, and with resolve. And as many of you already know, Lori has never stayed behind the scenes. She's been the heart of it all. From leading spouse seminars to being the steady support at every graduation, rain or shine, Lori is going to be there. So Lori, in front of everyone today, thank you so much for your contributions, what you've done here for this community, the spouses here, the families here, as well as the larger team. So thank you so very much. To the Brooks children, to Wes, spouse Emma, to Amelia, fiance Devin, thank you for letting the Army borrow Dad again. His ability to lead and serve at this level is weighted based on your support. So thank you for that. And there's so many things that I would like to say and talk about today with regard to FCO, but I know we'd be here much longer than any of us would like. But if you bear with me for a minute, I want to talk about Phil Brooks, the leader. Phil is a leader who wakes up every day at 05:28. Not 5:27, not 5:29, not 5:30. He wakes up every day at 5:28. But I will say, Phil, I got you beat by an hour. PT isn't optional. He says it helps him get the venom out. And from talking to his staff, they're so glad that he does that. And for those who know Phil, I mean, he's quiet. Well, actually, I shouldn't say quiet. He's calm. I'll use that term. He's grounded, he's routine, but he's also very, very focused. Phil has simply been what I like to call a good ancestor. And when you walk away as a good ancestor, you leave things behind that people can feel. They can't see them, and things you won't realize until years to come. That is the mark of a good ancestor. And over the past 2 years, Phil and Sergeant Major led FCO through transformational efforts. And just a few of them: fires convergence, IMT expansion, modernization of both ADA and field artillery. They strengthened partnerships within this community, just to name a few. And when Phil arrived, it was a time of turbulence. I was here. And I think that many were a little bit skeptical on this same day 2 years ago about this leader named Joe Brooks. But today, many embrace him and they follow his lead. And Phil, that's the mark of a job well done. And the entire team at FCO made it clear that going faster isn't a bumper sticker. It is a mindset. And they didn't just push that mindset, you lived it. And because of that, this installation is sharper, it is more relevant, and more connected than ever before. FCO has lived the mantra, ready today and relevant tomorrow. So thank you seems very shallow today, Phil. It's not even adequate enough for everything that you've done. As a senior commander, as a commanding general, in the face of all things fires and air defense for our Army. So Phil, as you step into your next role within TRADOC, make no mistake, your reach and your impact are only going to grow. That is absolutely a certainty. You're not done leading. You're just entering a bigger ring. Today is all about all good things in our Army, to include this tradition of transitioning from one leader to another. Pat met Rachel in DC, a city that moves very, very fast, but somehow it slowed down just enough for two people to find something that has lasted for 15 years and still counting. So Rachel, thank you for supporting Pat on this journey that has taken you to 7 different duty stations and counting. And while raising 3 military resilient children, Evan, Jude, and Isla. And thank you for embodying the resilience that defines the Costello family. Now, I've received many notes, cards, and letters about Pat, and I've seen Pat in action with my own eyes. The son of the late Lieutenant General John Costello, Pat didn't just follow the legacy, he reshaped it. Which is kind of funny because Pat once made the comment that he never wanted to join the Army. It was kind of ironic. So as Pat assumes command of FCO at Fort Sill, at a time when the mission is fast, the world is complex, the demands are very high, there's no doubt that he's the leader for the job. From what many have told me and what I've witnessed from afar, Pat is a visionary. He is a team player and he's a model leader. Pat, I know that you're ready to begin this chapter of your journey and excited to lead the soldiers, the Marines, the Army civilian professionals here at MEDCO, or FCO, I'm sorry, and leaders in this community. We again welcome you and Rachel to the team, and we look forward to watching you take this great organization to the next level. Drive change, forge victory, this will defend. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Sill Brooks.
Hey, well, good morning, and to use a term from the Air Defense Commandant, Brigadier General Glenn Hinkey, as the velvet voice, Marty Schmidt of Fort Sill has already said, good morning, distinguished visitors, fellow general officers, frontier friends, community leaders, our Native American partners, family and friends of Team Lawton Fort Sill, and thank you for attending today's ceremony. I am Phil Brooks, and I continue to be a proud American soldier. And Lori and I are truly blessed, not only today, but every day, to be able to serve this great nation. Now, before I begin, I would like to take a moment to recognize our outstanding members of the half section, the salute battery, our color guard, and the 395th Reserve Band. Please join me in a quick round of applause for the team. And not to mention Big Deuce in short round, who you'll see in just a few minutes. So instead of concluding my remarks with a Fires 50, today I want to open with one. And Fires 50 number 45 says that life is more fun with great teammates. And I've had the privilege of working with some incredible teammates over the past 2 years, and I'd like to begin by recognizing just a few. Lieutenant General Beagle, sir, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to lead and serve alongside so many great members of the Fire Center of Excellence and Fort Sill and all of the Centers of Excellence. Your steady mentorship and vision helped guide this team through an extraordinary period of growth. And we've proudly worked with Generals Brito and Rainey to transform and train field and air defense artillery leaders, as well as modernization. It's even more special to have had the honor to do this during the Army's 250th anniversary. To the soldiers, Marines, non-commissioned officers, warrant officers, Department of the Army civilians, and families in formation and in attendance today. Like General Beagle, I know the best I can do is use the 3 B's today. So be brief, be brilliant, and be gone. So I'll keep it short. And I don't drink very often, so hold my Gatorade. But know this, you look outstanding, and I'm deeply proud of each of you. You truly are America's finest, and I'm humbled by your accomplishments every day. To those joining us virtually, our family and friends from Fayetteville, Tennessee, Lori and I's hometown, my mom, my sister, brother, and all my family and friends watching to the far corners of the globe, thank you for your love and support. It's felt across every mile, and we simply could not do what we do without you. To our incredible Lawton Fort Sill community, our frontier friends, our elected representatives, and our civilian aides, and all in attendance, thanks for embracing and supporting our soldiers and families so wholeheartedly. As I've said before, home is where the military sends you, and this community has been a true home to me and Lori. To my fellow general officers, I just want to say thank you for your camaraderie, your friendship, your leadership, your expertise, and your continued mentorship. Lord knows I need all the mentorship I can get, and I appreciate it. To my battle buddy, Command Sergeant Major Neil Sartain, you and Paula have been a steady force in every challenge for the past 2 years, providing sound advice that only a seasoned non-commissioned officer can provide. Thank you to both you and Paula for being a teammate. You know, I'm often asked in interviews on the TV from Dan Frelkel and others, and on the radio and elsewhere about my greatest military accomplishment. And it has nothing to do with overseas deployments or anything like that. Actually, today I brought photographic evidence of my greatest military accomplishment. They're on the front row. So, to Lori, Wes, and Amelia, thank you for your unwavering love and support. You're the foundation I lean on every step of the way of this journey. I remain in awe of your resilience and commitment as a military spouse and military children when faced with adversity, and I love you. As I reflect on what we've accomplished together, I'm proud, but more than anything, I'm excited for what lies ahead for Long Fort Sill and our Army. Both the field and air defense artillery branches are actually growing more than I've ever seen in my military career. Initial military training is expanding, and our Joint Counter Small UAS University has been selected as the Department of Defense's premier institution for training and education in counter UAS operations. And all of this means new opportunities, not just for our soldiers, our Marines, but for this entire community. And while the Army looks to deliver critical warfighting capabilities and optimize our force structure, air defense artillery and field artillery on the leading edge of these efforts. And I can't wait to come back and visit and see the new heights that Joe Pat Costello and all of you will take this to. It's a promising future and is built on the foundation of what we've accomplished together. It demands the same grit, vision, and commitment that brought us here. And speaking of great teams, how about those Oklahoma City Thunder? Thunder up! 2025 NBA champions. Proof that great teams built on grit and belief can achieve greatness, and that Oklahoma pride runs deep here in Lawton, Fort Sill. And Shea Gilgeous-Alexander just signed a huge contract, and he apologized for not being able to be here today. I just wanted to share that with you. But now, as I pass the torch, I want to leave you with a perspective that has grounded me throughout this journey. And it's the same quote that I shared when I took command 2 years ago. And it comes from one of my favorite speeches by President Theodore Roosevelt, titled "The Man in the Arena." And these words continue to keep me humble and continue to remind me why we all continue to serve. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have actually done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again. There is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end of triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. Let's all continue to dare greatly for our Army, for our nation, and for each other. In true Fires fashion, I'll close with one more, number 40. It says, "Leave the jersey in a better place than you found it." And Lori and I did our best to leave it all on the court, and now it's time to pass the ball. And I know that Pat and Rachel will carry it forward with strength and vision. I challenge each and every one of you to put your arms around them the same way that you did for us 2 years ago. Be all you can be. This would have been Fire Strong. God bless each and every one of you, and thanks for your time today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General of the United States Army, Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill, Brigadier General Patrick Costello.
firefighters up here this morning. Hey, join me in one more round of applause for the band, the salute battery, the half section, and the awesome soldiers and Marines, the protocol team, and the senior enlisted leaders that made all this come together this morning. Good morning, distinguished visitors, fellow general officers, commanders, command sergeants major, distinguished guests from Lawton Fort Sill community, Native American partners, family and friends, thank you all for attending today. We are truly touched by the presence of so many familiar faces, leaders, mentors, teammates, and friends who have played an important role in my journey. Your support means more than I can express, and it's an incredible honor to share this moment with each of you. You represent experiences from my childhood throughout my career, and don't listen to my friends that were lieutenants with me back at Fort Bragg years ago that are standing in the back somewhere. Thank you. A special thank you to my family who made the trek from the East Coast this week. It's been years since we've had this opportunity to share these Army experiences with you. It's great having you here. And finally to Rachel, Evan, Jude, and Isla, we made it another trip. Thanks for your strength and your resilience. I turned 50 this year. My body and my hairline joined me, but my young kids keep me young. General Beagle, thanks for placing your trust in me and allowing me the opportunity to lead the Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill. This is a responsibility that I do not take lightly. I'm extremely humbled by this opportunity to serve in this role and help shape the future of our fires force. And what a time to be in the fires community. In today's evolving operational environment, the need for fires is not only alive, it's urgent and growing. We are on the front lines of enabling decisive outcomes on tomorrow's battlefield. Our transformation efforts, our readiness initiatives, and our doctrinal innovations are shaping the way that the Army fights and wins. Rachel and I would like to extend our deepest thanks to Major General Phil and Lori Brooks for the incredibly warm welcome they gave us upon our arrival. Your hospitality, care, and commitment to a smooth and professional transition have made all the difference. You set a high bar and we're grateful for your example. A short 18 months ago, we stood here and said goodbye, having no idea that we'd be back. And from our very first day back, we felt the energy, the pride, and the unity of this community. The team spirit of Team Lawton Fort Sill is alive and well, and I can feel it. The Costello family is honored and humbled to join Team Lawton, and we believed in the mission and believe in this community. In times of transition, it's natural to wonder how a new leader will guide the team. So in true Fires 6 fashion, I will answer that with a Fires 50 as I conclude my remarks. Fires 50, number 35, seldom used. Take other people's stuff. And I'm not talking about the type that gets you on the blotter. But I fully intend to do that. Major General Brooks, to fall in on your outstanding blueprint that you've laid down for the Fires Enterprise. Your legacy of excellence, your innovation and leadership will continue to shape our efforts moving forward. And I'm grateful for the foundation you've built, and I look forward to building on it every day. Be all you can be, fire strong.
Sound, commanders and colors, post, forward.
At this time, Major General Brooks and Brigadier General Costello will conduct the Artillery Half Section Guidon Exchange. The Commanding General's ceremonial routine, the Fort Sill Artillery Half Section, displays the guidon of the Commanding General's first command during all ceremonial and community relations events. A tradition which has been passed over the years is the return of the Commander's guidon upon his departure. The guidon of Charlie Battery, 1st Battalion, 10th Field Artillery Regiment, Major General Brooks' first command, is being returned to him by Mrs. Armstrong. Brigadier General Costello is now presenting Mrs. Armstrong with the guidon of his first command, Charlie Battery, 2nd Battalion, 44th Air Defense Artillery, which will be displayed at all ceremonial events in which the half section participates. At this time, Staff Sergeant Enrique Perez from the Sergeant Audie Murphy Club is presenting Major General Brooks with a token representing the last round fired in his honor as the Commanding General of the United States Army Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill.
Sound, attention!
At this time, Brigadier General Costello and Major General Brooks' families will join them on the reviewing line for the pass and review.
Pass and review.
Sound, pass, in review!
Commander of Troops is Colonel Michael Bearfield, Chief of Staff, United States Army Fire Center of Excellence at Fort Sill. Headquarters Detachment Fire Center of Excellence, commanded by Captain Nicole Gibson, the Detachment First Sergeant Matthew Crane. United States Army Garrison Fort Sill, commanded by Colonel Derek Baird. The Garrison Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major William Pearson. Air Defense Artillery Brigade, commanded by Colonel John Brock II, the Brigade Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Ronald Watson.
Right!
The 31st Air Defense Artillery Brigade, commanded by Colonel Lourdes Costas, the Brigade Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Tommy Flores.
Right!
The 75th Field Artillery Brigade, commanded by Colonel Paul Lashley. The Brigade Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Gary Pruitt.
Aye. Right.
The 4th U.A. Field Artillery Brigade, commanded by Colonel Lance Tomlinson. The Brigade Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Nathan Bushko.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national colors. The color guard is under the direction of the United States Army Fire Center of Excellence of Fort Sill Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Neil Sartain. The 434 Field Artillery Brigade, commanded by Colonel Reginald White. The Brigade Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Scott Kelsey. The Non-Commissioned Officer Academy, the Commandant, Command Sergeant Major Jason Obermiller.
Still OB. Fire strong, sir.
United States Army Medical Department activity, Fort Sill and Reynolds Army Health Clinic, commanded by Colonel Jason Ferguson. The Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Michael Patu. The United States Marine Corps School of Artillery, commanded by Colonel Jared Stoutenborough. The Sergeant Major John Studer. The Fort Sill Artillery Half Section, the Chief of the Section, Mrs. Laura Armstrong. Also representing the Mountain Artillery are the Captain Sergeant Big Deuce, the 8th, and his technical advisor, Sergeant Short Round on the 5th. They're a little shy on the left, so they might not come out. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing and singing of the Marine Hymn and the Army Song.
March along, sing your song, with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army of cavalry, we're the army of proclaim. First we fight for the right and we build it.
Take charge of the formation.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Major General Mrs. Brooks and family will receive farewells on the far right side of the canopies. Brigadier General Mrs. Costello and family will receive congratulations at the reception in the main ballroom of the Historic Patriot Club beginning at 10 o'clock. Thank you for attending and have a great day. Fire strong, people first, winning matters, be all you can be.